Hello, and welcome to the Shelly Show. I'm Surendra, and you're watching this simulcast live on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I hope you're safe and observing the protocols in your area so that we keep each other healthy, safe, and secure. Today, for the first time ever, I'm going to tell you not to like this video. It is important, and I'll tell you why very soon. Okay. Going forward, one question that I've been asked time and again is how do we start a career in data science? And last year, I did a video for data science enthusiasts, which is available on YouTube, and I'll put that in the comment section later. And let me show you what I said. Here is what I said. So the next thing you do is to find out a problem. A very good idea is to look for social problems that you have faced recently and strategize what data would be required. How will it help solving the problem and where to find that data set? Most of the data for social problems is available on the internet. So you can start from there and then start extracting the data. They say once you start, you will have solved half the problem. And along with that, you will start learning and polishing your data science skills. If you do that, it may be possible that you don't need anyone to hire you, and instead you may be hiring people soon. Think about that. Okay, so that's what I said last year, and I thought I needed to help here. So before I go anywhere, for you to view this episode and other sessions that are on emerging technologies live, I would request you to follow me so that you can be alerted when a live session is on. This gives you an opportunity to directly ask questions to our guests. So please press the follow button on LinkedIn and Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube. Press the bell icon so that you can be alerted. And also please let me know where are you joining us from. Today, this episode is wholly solely focused on LinkedIn, and I'll tell you how in a minute. Zero was invented in India, and India has no dearth of data science talent. And I'm proud of being an Indian as well. One thing I realized when I posted that video was that budding data scientists can do the work, they can create a project, but there is no platform to share or showcase their talent. And then I realized I have a platform, so why not use it? The Shelly Show tied up with Parigyan, the Data Science Society of Goa Institute of Management in India, to ideate and create Crypto, the Datathon. We decided that these smart data scientists should be introduced to the world through the Shelly Show and allow the audience to vote for them. So this episode, which we are running, we will have the finalists that we have selected to come and show their talent, and you will be able to vote for them, and that will count to 50% of the result. So, and I'll tell you how to vote going forward. And a little snippet is that when I said do not like this video, because if you go on LinkedIn and hover on the like button, you will see some emojicons. Those emojicons is what we will be using to vote today. So please don't like this video if you're watching this on LinkedIn. But if you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, then please come to LinkedIn to vote, because that's where the voting will matter. We are not going to use the votes coming in from YouTube or Twitter or Facebook. It's only specific to LinkedIn. So please, if you're watching it on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, please come to LinkedIn and vote here for your best team. Okay, when I said that we're going to bring the talent to the world, it looked like to me that it's a journey, and if any of the teams in the world, any company or any individual who wants to be part of this journey, please jump and send me a message. I will be more than happy to talk to you and bring you on board. We need to show the talent that we're seeing in data science to the world, so that the world understands the art of possibility, and that's what we're doing here. So today, for the first time, I will ask you not to like this post, because you'll be able to use the emojicons below to vote for the best team. So please don't like the LinkedIn post. You'll be able to vote on LinkedIn only, and that will count for 50% of the results. While I was doing this, I asked one of my friends, Ashish Sharma, if he could help, and he agreed. So let me bring in Ashish and talk to him. Hi Ashish, how are
Hi,
you?
Surendra. How are you?
Welcome to the Shelly Show.
Thank you for inviting me to the Shelly Show. I think it's a honor and privilege to be here. I've been in the audience for a long time now, and I think thanks for inviting me for this challenge, and happy to be here.
So for the benefit of our audience, can you please introduce yourself, where you come from, who you are, so that people know?
As both of us, come from I come from India, and I have a background in statistics and mathematics, and also computer science, and I've done an executive MBA as well. So that's a bit of my background in terms of education. And for last few years, I've been dabbling in data for at least 12, 13 years now. And in one of my recent positions, I was head of data science and analytics at Capgemini, Australia and New Zealand. And in my last position, I've been helping an insurance company in Australia to predict outcomes based on how they operate, and also to modify their operating model.
Okay, so we've decided, with Ashish's help, 5 teams, and so let's bring them in one by one. Ashish, here we go. You're aware of the teams, so let's get them. Ladies first, as they say. So let's get the lady in the room first. So we've got Shivani, Team Cryptomaniacs from Goa Institute of Management. Hi Shivani, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Very good. So please
Sharon-
introduce yourself.
Shailendra, just a quick one before we start with her. One of the I've seen it as a theme in all your Shelly shows. I think you've been heavily focused on introducing the women talent or the women in data science for a long time now. I think you've been doing a good job on that front. And I think welcome Team Cryptomaniac. It's been a pleasure working with you for last 2 weeks and a half. Over to you.
Thank
So
you.
Shivani, please introduce yourself and your team very quickly.
Yes. As you mentioned, my name is Shivani Singh. I'm from Goa Institute of Management. I'm in my final year of PGDM, Big Data and Analytics. My team members consist of Himanshi, Swaroop, and Prachi Gopalani. All of us are from Goa Institute of Management, and we are excited to be a part of this event.
Good stuff. The next team is XLRI Jamshedpur, and we've got Praneet Pasbola, all the way from Team Enigma. Praneet?
Yes, so very good morning to Shailendra and Ashish, and a good morning to all the viewers as well. Really excited. Hi, I am Praneet Pasbola, and I'm currently pursuing my MBA in General Management from XLRI Jamshedpur. And coming from an engineering background and working as a software engineer earlier, I think I always had this fascination of working with numbers and codes. And data science truly combines my love for these two domains. So I am extremely curious and passionate about working in the data science domain, and this event was like a perfect opportunity for our team to showcase our talent. So my team Enigma comprises of Ravi, Shekhar, Manjistha Day, and myself, and we are going to present the solution of predicting the top 10 US stocks, which we consider will be a wonderful and exciting journey.
Stop. We will get there. We will get to the
Okay, sure.
question.
Right.
So
Yeah, right. So I'm looking forward and truly excited to be part of the show today. So thank you, Shailendra, for this opportunity.
good stuff. Our next participant in the competition is Team All Good Always, and we've got Manmeet Singh, all the way from Indira Gandhi Institute of Indira Gandhi National Open University. Sorry, IGNO.
Hi, I'm Manmeet and I'm studying MBA at IGNO. I chose Team All Good Always as it's twofold really. I think it's always going to be all right. The sun will shine. You may have ups and downs, but it's trying to be positive with anything you do. And for the second part is no matter where you come from, what walk of life, race, religion, whichever, all good always.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Very well said, Manmeet. Okay, our fourth participant is from VSSUT Burla, represented by Team Arpan, and we've got Arpan Mahapatra from Odisha.
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Very good. Introduce yourself and your team.
So I'm Arpan. My team comprises of just myself. I am from VSSUT Burla, Sambalpur. I hail from the city of Dhanbad, and I'm actually pursuing my electronics and telecommunication final year from VSSUT Burla. And I'm very happy to be part of this show. And thank you for inviting.
Good stuff. Our fifth and the final presenter or the participant is from Goa Institute of Management, represented by Abhishek Upadhyay, who is from Team Data Dredgers. Hi Abhishek, how are you?
Hello, sir. Hi, sir. Greetings to all. So this is Abhishek Upadhyay from Team Data Dredges, and we all are pursuing big data analytics from Goa Institute of Management. And today I'll be presenting our model to predict the top 10 stocks of the market. So looking forward and excited to be part of this.
Don't jump the gun. Just introduce yourself and your team, and we will take the question later.
Yeah, sir. So we are from Goa Institute of Management, and we are pursuing data science as our career, and we are looking forward to our presentation.
Okay, before I get ahead, in the true sense of unity in diversity, which all cities are we here from? So let's start. Abhishek, what city do you come from?
I'm from Agra.
Agra. Shivani.
I'm from Patna.
Patna. Agra, Patna. And we've got Arpan from
Dhanbad, Jharkhand.
Dhanbad. We've got Manmeet from
Delhi.
Delhi. And we've got Praneet from Praneet. I've got the name right. Yes.
Yes, I also hail from Delhi.
Delhi. So in the whole good sense of unity in diversity, we've got people. I'm originally from Delhi, and Ashish, you're originally from?
I'm from Dehradun, guys.
Dehradun. So yeah, we've got people from all over India. So that's very, very good and exciting. Okay. As the first step, I would ask Ashish to introduce the question that we posed to the team. So we had, and I mentioned that in the little snippet that we released earlier this week, we had 470 participants, and of which we selected you 5 people to be the finalists. So first thing first, congratulations. You've done a great job to reach the top 5 from 470. It's an achievement in itself. Ashish, over to you. What was the question, and tell us about what we're going to do.
I think a bit more about the question. There is some background to why we asked that question. First of all, I think it was a coffee that me and Shelly were having, and we're trying to and we're discussing something different, right? But one of the points that came up, because I've worked in some of the banks in US as well as in Australia, was what's impacting the financial market right now. And I think my answer to that was there are a lot of things impacting financial market right now, apart from pandemic and things like that. But the way it's impacting common man and his investments in stocks is, I think, is a big concern to all of us at the moment in working in the financial services industry. So then we started talking about what stocks people do invest in and things like that. So of course, India is a good market, Europe is a good market. People go to Nikko for Japan and all that, and Australia is a good market as well. ASX is doing quite well, but a lot of people and a lot of companies actually look up to US for United States for how the companies are being tracking and how the stocks are trading. So I think it was Shelly's idea, and I seconded it, and then we both worked on it. The idea was to be able to predict top 10 stocks every week. Now, a lot of people say, why not every hour or why not every day? A lot of people, and I'm talking about common man, they don't have time, money, well, maybe they have money, but they don't have time and capacity to be able to work on the stock exchange or to attract the indices and tickers every hour. So a lot of us kind of invest on a weekly basis. So we go back and check, how is this stock doing weekly, and what are the other stocks doing on a weekly basis. So I think that was the whole background and the questions. Essentially, the use case that we're trying to address through this datathon is to be able to predict top 10 stocks in the US market every week.
Good stuff. So, guys, to the audience, guys, anyone who's watching this, and I know there are most people watching on LinkedIn, if you've got a question, please put that in the comment section, and I will pose that question to these guys, to the participants, and you have the opportunity to ask that question too. Okay, very quickly, let me try and get into the session very quickly. Let's ask the team members what they have done and then take it from there. Okay. So let's start with, if I can get my screen right. Yes, I can. So now I'm sharing my screen. So let's ask Team Cryptomaniac, what did they do? What data did they access? What models did they build? And what was the output they created? So over to you, Shivani. Please walk us through your working.
Hello. So first of all, we are Team Cryptomaniacs from Goa Institute of Management, and let me walk you through the overall process. First of all, we collected the data from the sites Yahoo Finance and Finviz. Yahoo Finance data was basically to get the technical analysis part. So we collected the stock prices from the Yahoo Finance, and from Finviz we web scraped the news to understand the sentiments behind the stocks. Then we extracted the top 10% stocks using the Minervini principle. So that was the thing. First of all, the data scraping was done, and then we applied the different principles to extract the top 10% stocks. And finally, that is the next slide. Yeah. So let me walk you through the overall approach that we did. Data collection was done from these two sites, as I mentioned, Yahoo Finance and Finviz. And we extracted the top 10% stocks using the Minervini principle. Minervini is one of the most successful stock trader, and we have used his 5 approaches to pick up the top 10% stocks. The models used were LSTM and ARIMA, and I'll then discuss about these models separately. For the fundamental analysis part, we also did the sentiment analysis using the Wader method. Wader method is used for the understanding the sentiments in the social media. So that was the best model that we used for the sentiment analysis part. As I mentioned, from the 2 models, we got the least mean square error in LSTM's case. So we picked the LSTM as our best model. And then we created a front end using Streamlit web and HTML and CSS to show the whole of the approach in a user-friendly manner to the people. So if I compare between LSTM and ARIMA, first of all, the number of neurons in the first layer were 200 in a case of LSTM, and in the second layer it was 150. The packages used in both the cases, ARIMA and LSTM, were sklearn, Keras, and in LSTM case, it was TensorFlow. In ARIMA's case, it was stats models. The number of epochs in LSTM was 50. We have used Adam Optimizer in the LSTM model. The visualizations were done in the using Matplotlib. The scaling of the data to bring in the proper format was done using Minmax Scaler. The mean square error that we got in case of LSTM was 0.0225. That was pretty low. That means it gave a better performance as compared to ARIMA, which gave a mean square error of 1.686. So this was the technical nitty-gritties behind the models that we have created. And LSTM was a clear-cut winner for us for the technical analysis part. And for the fundamental analysis part, as I mentioned, we did the sentiment analysis. So we have combined all of this and showed the visualizations and all, and we have deployed our app that I'll be showing in the next slide. Shailendra, if you could move to the next slide, please. That's a video. And this is the stock screener. If you could please pause. Yeah. So these are the top 10 stocks for the week 22nd March to 26th of March. These are the top 10 stocks that we are showing in the ticker. And we have shown the average closing price last week, average closing price for the upcoming week, the percentage increase or decrease, the positive scores of the positive, negative, and neutral score of the sentiments has been given. Basically, the sentiments will show in which direction the stocks will go. So we have also given the weightage to these sentiments, and that we have assigned as the positive, negative, and neutral scores. Then, Shailendra, if you could please, yeah, just pause. Yeah. So this average closing price for the upcoming top 10 companies, we have shown in the bar graph format. Then we have shown, play please. Average increase to the closing price and the opening price we have shown in the bar graph format. Please, could you please pause? Yeah, just above this word cloud, there was a line graph that shows the weekly performance of these top 10 stocks. So, and this word cloud over here, it shows the the words that are commonly used in the news. These are the words that are commonly used in the news. So the front page basically shows all the data about all these top 10 companies. Just in case, just a moment, just in case if you want to go to a particular company from all these top 10 stocks, then if you could please play. Yeah. So here we want to go to one of the companies, say Discovery over here. The ticker name is Disc, and the model is working at the back end, and there we will get the statistics of this particular company. And yeah, here we are. So the last, just pause over here. Yeah. Thank you, Shailendra. So these are the statistics of this particular company. If we want to go to one particular company and get the total statistics of this company, then these are the statistics of this particular company that we are getting. And then to see the deviation of the last week, this is basically to measure the accuracy of our model. We are showing the deviation of the last week to show for 15th to 19th March. And here we can see it is giving a good accuracy. And yeah, moving forward. The same comparison of the actual and the closing price has been shown in the line graph format for better visualization here. Yeah. So if we want to, let it move forward. So if we want to see the...
Can it start again, actually?
Yeah, no, it won't start. Could you please? Yeah, so if we want to, yeah, you could play over here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that works. So the opening closing prices will be shown over here for this particular company. This data is of the past 1 year for better analysis. And the top words that are being used for this particular company, the word cloud is showing over here. So this is for the better analysis of the particular companies. We have already extracted the top 10 companies, but if we want to delve in and understand each company, then this is the app that we have created. So that is all about the...
And that's going far and beyond just the model of predicting the top 10 stocks next week. You also created an app, a wrapper around that as well, which is quite interesting. Valuable. Okay. Do you have anything else, or is that's all?
That's all. This is all that we had to show.
Okay, good stuff. So the next participant I will bring in Team Enigma, Praneet, to share his insights on what his team has done. Let me very quickly go to the next slide. Crypto Team Enigma. Okay, over to you, Praneet.
Yes, thank you, Shailendra. So, hi everyone. We are Team Enigma from XLRI Jamshedpur, and we have done a lot of analysis, discussed a lot of things while coming up with a solution to predict the top 10 US stocks for the coming week. First, we would like to talk about the data part, how we went about analyzing where we collected the data from. So for the purpose of this analysis, we explored the daily closing price targets, the daily high values, low values of the stocks pertaining to the NASDAQ opening price, volume of trade per day. So all these parameters we took from Yahoo Finance, right? And then we took out this data starting from the date of January 2010. And to include the market sentiment, we realized that the best way to feature in this measure was using the DJIA index. So what this is, it is like the comparative of what we can say the top stocks, how they are predicting to gauge the sentiment. So Dow Jones Industrial Average Index is a kind of measure which can give us the market sentiment of how the stocks are behaving. So we use this as a factor of sentiment analysis in our while collecting our data to give a more accuracy to our data. And for model building, the training we performed was with 9 years of data and tested it on 1 year data to see whether the model was accurate or not. So from 2010 to 2019, we basically trained our model on the data, and then we predicted the values for 2020 to check how accurate our model was. And we did our coding in R, and for the entire modeling purpose, we used the data was extracted using the batch get symbols library. Moving onwards, the model consideration. So this was the really exciting part. We dabbled with a lot of models to find out what could be the best accurate models. We use models such as ARIMA, Prophet, KNN, Random Forest, and eventually we drilled down to multivariate regression as the best model that we could use for prediction of our models. So why did we ultimately select this model is as a story in itself. When we first started with ARIMA, we realized that it was taking a lot of time to execute. So if we were to give results in a say of a week, it used to take a lot of time. Then we delved into Prophet, but we realized it was more of a black box. KNN also gave good results, but multivariate regression in itself provided the best accuracy among all our models. So given that we had the good accuracy, the relationship between dependent and independent variables was almost linear, and the data was homoscedastic, meaning the variance between the results should not be too much. So based on this, the multivariate regression turned out to be the best model that we could use. And each model, as I said, had its own pros and cons. So the most important factor was to reduce the runtime of all these 500 stocks. So multivariate regression allowed us to achieve this. We took the daily data and derived a few features like daily return, the intraday return, what these values could be, right? And then we ran the regression along with VIF test that gave us that the variable like NASDAQ opening price, right, was not a significant variable of daily data prediction. So we removed all the auto correlations that were existing, and the historical data was then saved, and each week the data set was updated with the last 5 days value, and the stock price for the upcoming week was predicted based on the regression equation. Moving onwards to the result part, we realized that the top 10 stocks prediction using just a week analysis is too much of a chore. A lot of variables come in, but our model was able to predict this data to a very high accuracy. Reason being, the accuracy of the top 10 stocks, as you can see on the top left corner, was quite similar to what we forecasted and the actual values. So if we see, for example, the first column, AAL, American Airlines Limited, right, Lilly, and then we move to Oracle. So we see that the predicted values were there was a deviation of, let's say, around 1 to 2% compared to what was predicted by the model. So what we have here is a model which is simple, easy to run, and give quite stark and similar results to the actual world values. So in this manner, we can see that this model stands out in itself. And if we look at the left bottom slide, we see that we have also compared the RMSE versus mean. So this was required because the actual stock values can be quite different for these stocks. For example, Tesla could be trading for X value, while Amazon could be trading for 5X of that value, right? So we need to figure out a mechanism wherein we can factor the RMSE versus mean. And as you can see for the select stocks we have presented here, the accuracy was very good in fact. And that's all for the presentation, Shekhar. Thank you.
Okay, so just a couple of questions to both you and Shivani, and I'll do it in this way. Shivani, so you guys used Python or R?
We use Python.
Okay, and Team XLRI, Team Enigma used R?
Yes, we coded in R.
And how did you extract the data, Team Enigma?
So we use the library known as batch get symbols, which is an open source library to basically extract these values. So for the S&P 500 values based on the tickers are basically short forms of the stock companies that exist on the stock market. So based on the tickers, we have the S&P 500 companies. Based on the ticker values, we use the batch get symbols library to extract these values for the last 10 years, and then we saved it in a CSV file in the local machine, and then worked on it.
And for you guys, cryptomaniacs, Shivani, did you do what platform did you use to run the model?
We used the Spider ID.
And was it on your laptop or was it on the cloud?
First of all, we were doing it in a laptop, but then when we move forward with the LSTM model, then we did that in the cloud.
Okay. So let's get the third team. And if I get any question in the meantime, I will ask. Ashish, do you have any question to the two teams so far?
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay. Our next presenter is team All Good Always, Manmeet Singh. Manmeet, over to you. And I'll just change your slide for you.
Yes, please. Yeah, so the problem given to us was to predict the values of the entire NYSE and predict the 10 most rising stocks for the week in terms of percentage. So it was a great challenge, as we for the past 1 year we have been living in such difficult times and the market is too volatile to predict. So I was up for the challenge. I used Python as a program to code and predict the future. Using the open source library data reader, Pandas data reader, I was able to extract the historical values of over 2,300 stocks listed in the NYSE for the past 6 years. And then I used Yahoo Finance as a source because it keeps a solid record for all the stocks in a supervised manner. To get this, to get to know how people feel about the stock online, I use Twitter API to find out the sentiment of the people in the particular stock. Next.
Interesting. So you actually extracted the entire stock exchange and got all the stocks out?
Yes, I printed only the top rising, like more than 10% rising. I only print out only those.
Okay. Here we go.
To run this model, we use the scikit-learn program alongside TensorFlow to get the historical prices from the Yahoo Finance, 80% of which was used for training, while the remaining was used for testing. We use the SVM model, that is a support vector machine, and the LR model, that is a linear regression model, to establish a base for the future values. The concept revolves around moving average in the system, and then we run it alongside the LSTM sequential using the Adam optimizer to calculate the weighted moving average of the gradient and then square it to calculate the gradient. That is a lot of technical words. So it so the LSTM model verifies our outcome from the SVM and the linear regression, as it provides only a forecast of the next day. So we can just check whether our predictions are true or not. We use the Twitter API to run the sentiment analysis, giving each stock a score of its movement. If the score is positive, then the stock is likely to go up, and vice versa.
Okay.
After running the programs in the different segments, I was able to forecast, give a forecast range for the next day. So for intraday trading, as per anyone concerned with that part, and was able to find out the accuracy of both the SVM model as well as the linear regression model, which averages to about 92% at this point. But in order to improve, I'd like to add a couple more things in the future. That is like the amount of dividend paid by the company, which reduces the price on the ex-dividend day. So that there is no variation between the stock price and the actual model predicted. Furthermore, I'd also like to add the words spoken by celebrities, which could drastically change the prices of a stock, which I would also like to include that. And moreover, I would also like to add the financials of each company, whether in 3 months the company releases its financials, whether it's in profit or loss. That would also help the model get more accurate. And I'd like to achieve an accuracy score of 99 in the near future. So we get the graphical representation of our training and testing, which looks fairly accurate, and we get a sentiment score of the positive tweets versus the negative tweets. That is the ratio. If the ratio is positive, then it's a positive sentiment, and the stock is likely to go up.
So you've created a relationship between the sentiment in the market with the stock price?
It's just to confirm the movement, whether it's going up or down at this point.
But that's not an input into the model itself?
Not at this time, but I'd like to add a lot more things to this model in the coming weeks.
Okay, great stuff. Anything else you want to add, or should I move on?
Yeah, I got next week's prizes. That
Okay. Yeah. Next team to talk about is Arpan from Team Arpan SM10. Arpan, first question before you get explaining this. What does Arpan SM10 mean? Why did you pick that name?
So that's just my Kaggle name was that I used in Kaggle. That was my username. So I just as a username. So while for registering, I used that username, but that got registered as my team name. So, I could have used a better team name. I get that.
No, that's fine. Okay, keep going. Explain to us what you've done.
So hello, good morning everyone. I'm Arpan. I'm from VSSUT Burla, currently pursuing my ECE in final year. So coming to the problem statement, the problem that was given to us was to predict the top 10 stocks in the US market in a weekly wise. So let me get started with the data sources that I took. So the first data source that I took was the NASDAQ listed companies. So NASDAQ listed company has thousands and thousands of companies. So for predicting means I don't have to take all the stocks because that consisted of many penny stocks also, which were not valuable as that of the top stocks. So what I did was I took the top 150 NASDAQ stocks based on the market capital. So the companies which had a good market capital, I took those top 150 NASDAQ companies. Next, what I did was use that Yahoo Finance to extract the open, high, and low and close data for the past 30 years. So from the year 1990 to this current date. Next, what I did was that I used technical indicators. So which I will be talking on the next slide. I use the technical indicators as part of my problem statement. Next, what I did was use target direction. So instead of making this as a regression problem, I tried to make this as a classification problem. So what this target direction is that it is for a weekly wise, it will be denoted by 1 if the stock went up in 7 days. So from this day to the next 7th day in the future. So if the stock went by, if the stock increased, then I denoted it by 1, and if the stock decreased, then I denoted it by 0. So what my task was to use this technical indicators for the first day, and then use it to predict what would be the direction of the movement of the stock in the 7 days later. So it will be going up, that will be denoted by 1, or it will be going down, that will be denoted by 0. Can you move to the next slide, please?
Yeah, if I can, that is, yes.
So let me tell you about my approach. So there are many different trading indicators that are used by many investors in this market. So there could be a very leading indicators or lagging indicators. So these indicators can be used and is heavily used in many industries to forecast the signal that predicts the future movements. So technical indicators, what this is means, using this close priced or open prices and volume, we can create many technical indicators like moving average or MACD and ADX. There are many different types of technical indicators, and people use it to predict what could be the future be. So I use this as a machine learning. So I use this data to make a machine learning algorithm. Now, since I downloaded 150 different stocks, so making 150 classification model for each stock would be a very hectic task. So what I did was I used clustering algorithm. Clustering comes within a unsupervised algorithms. So what I did was I used the percentage returns of different companies, and I tried to group them into similar stocks, so that I have to make less different models, and that I have to make less different models, and it will be a very less hectic task, and the prediction would be also faster. So I used k-means algorithm for clustering. Now comes to the training and testing part. What I did was, since I downloaded the past 30 years data set, I took the training from 1990 to 2018. That was my training set, and from 2019 to this present date would be the testing set. And I used PyCaret machine learning.
I've got a question
Hello,
for
sir?
you.
Yes, sir.
On the clustering, when you
Yes,
clustered, was it based on any, like, it's, you just mentioned similar stocks. What do you mean by similar stocks there?
Similar stocks based on percentage return. So what weekly percentage return was calculated was that the percentage of amount increased or decreased. So based on that, I used it to cluster. Based
so
on that,
it wasn't for like different industries or different sectors.
After I clustered the many different types of, after I used the clustering algorithm, this was my finding that the clustering algorithm grouped them into separate type of industries, like IT industries or telecommunication industry and such industries, that my clustering algorithm automatically clustered them into such type of industries. There were outliers, but that was my observation. So I used many different types of regression algorithms. So the best one I found was the random forest algorithm, which I use for classification. Next, the training data was for the training part, I filtered my model into the separate clusters that I created and trained my model. And for each clusters, I created a single model. Can you go next slide? So you can see this. These are the plots that I took. First one is the variable importance. So I'm not sure if you're able to see this clearly, but the first one would be RSI index, and then that would be stochastic oscillators. So these two technical indicators gave me the maximum importance for my predictions. This was my variable importance plot. The second one is a summary plot, which I created using SHAP algorithms. So here you can see that the RSI 5. So the red indicator indicates whether red indicates that the value will go up or down. So red indicates that the value will go down, and the blue indicates that the value will go up. And so RSI means for a low value of RSI, the value will go up, because in the negative x-axis the value is red. In case of MACD, you can see that the red is in the front positive x-axis. So the high value of MACD will give a high positive, means the higher indication. So next one is my ROC curve, which can be used as a classification metric for a classification, binary classification algorithms. Can move to the next slide.
No, you've got only that many.
I think I added more sometimes. So that was my approach. Because there were some slides indicating my predictions. I have to show my predictions.
Later. Okay, one question to you very, very quickly, and before we go next, to actually all the 4 participants so far, what is the average accuracy levels that you've seen so far with your models? I'll start with Arpan, you.
So my model used to predict 70 to 60% of the correct predictions. So in the top 10 predictions that my model used to create for the next week, 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 models were correct. So you can invest in those and can actually have a good profit from them. Even if the 3 to 4 stocks can give you a negative, can give you a loss, but 6 to 7 were very good predictions, and that could help you profit. So that was my accuracy.
Manmeet, what was your accuracy levels you're looking at?
I told in my pitch as well, it was 92% average across the board.
Okay. Team Enigma? Praneet?
Yes, so what really helped in our case was that we used a lot of historical data for making our predictions. So that helped us gain an accuracy of about 2 to 8% variation. Compared to the actual values, the predicted values were in the range of 2 to 8%.
2 to 8% was the RMSE?
Like if the stock price predicted was 100, then it was within the range of 98 to 102. So 2% of the actual predicted value.
No, but was the prediction, was the accuracy for when we say the stock value? Are you talking about you're saying stock value, not the increase or decrease in the value, right?
Right. So it's in the percentage terms. So percentage terms I'm telling. So it's like stock price. If say it was X dollars, then the variation that we found was basically the accuracy was 0.98, 0.992 to 0.98. So 92 to 98% you can say. But the variation was in the range of 2 to 8%.
Okay.
Got it.
Shivani?
So since it was a continuous data, we have used mean square error to measure the accuracy, to measure the performance, and we have got it as 0.0225. The mean square error is there in case of LSTM model. That is our performance.
So if you looked at a stock, any stock you picked, and compared to the actual value in the market, so if you predicted that the stock price was 100, but the actual value was 102, did you do any such kind of analysis to understand whether it was 2% or 10%?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did the deviations. What were the deviations for the actual and the predicted? And the average deviations that we were getting were approximately 15%. And that was also in case of two companies that we have found, and we also have the reason behind it, that why 15% of the deviation was there. And for the rest of that, the accuracy was pretty good, and we were close enough. Like as I mentioned, we measured it in the form of mean square error. So yeah.
Okay. So before and finally we get the final participant, and that is Abhishek from Team Data Dredgers, as they would call them, Team Data Dredgers, right, Abhishek?
Right, sir. Right, sir.
Good stuff. So tell us, what did you do?
Hi, sir. We Team Data Dredgers. I will be presenting for the Team Data Dredgers, and so this is our first slide. And what is our data source is we took our data source from Yahoo Finance stock list, and we took top 50 tickers from Yahoo Finance, and we downloaded those stocks through Pandas data reader library, and we used the features that we extracted were composed of open, high, low, close volume prices. But then we did some feature engineering, and we took high, low percentage, open, close, increase, decrease, and the volume weighted average price, and we dropped few other columns based on the correlation that we're getting. The volume and the volume weighted average price was getting the highest correlation, so we dropped those values, and we considered only those features that were giving me the good correlation with the predicted variable. So, and for second part, we for the NLP, for the sentiment analysis, we use NLP. We have used this library, Beautiful Soup, to fetch the comments from sites like Reddit and we have used we have from sites like Finviz, and we have used this Pro library that is for Reddit only, and we can fetch the top headlines and the top comments on that headline. And we have used a few subreddits like Wall Street Bets and investments, these kind of subreddits, which can give us even more accurate information. Like we can't use every single comment, we can't consider every single comment, so we need to consider only those comments that are from experts. So we only use those comments only. And here we extracted the data, we extracted the titles of the Reddit posts, and then we extracted the comments given below in that title, and then we checked for the compound score. So we also saw for the comments and the body for the post, and then we found the sentiment for each ticker and based on the post, and then we calculated average compound score for all the tickers. We did this with the help of this weighter library that automatically takes the sentence and give its analysis, the neutral score, the positive, negative, and the compound score. So we took those compound score and we also factored it in the frequency of each ticker appearing on the Reddit post to calculate the score. Then we used web scraping to get the post from finviz.com, a financial news and stock database site. And here we applied sentiment analysis to get the compound scores of the stocks in the news. And we then added those compound scores for both Reddit and Finviz. And then we factored this score with the final prediction of our base model. And the compound score that we were getting were ranging from around -1 to 1. So suppose if the compound score is 0.39, then what we are doing is we are adding this score, we are using this factor in our prediction score, and we are adding this factor in our predictions to get even more better RMSE. So here we have basically given our journey, like which all models we use from the start. So from start, at first we used the primitive, the basic regression models like linear regression, decision tree, XGBoost, and we train test the data, and we try to check the accuracy of the model. But the problem that we had is these regression models are not pertinent for these time series predictions, since it gives us a biased result. And we can't consider, if we are considering all those features like open, high, low, close features for multivariate analysis, then we have to make a synthetic data. Like we can make synthetic data. Like what we have done was we made synthetic data for next 5 days, for which we are predicting, and then on the basis of that data we are predicting our opening price. Okay, so as we saw, like there were a few disadvantages here, like the predicted values have a very low accuracy for the large data sets, and the RMSE range was also coming for around 50 to 360 for almost when we tried it for almost 25 stocks. Then we move forward to the particular time series models like Arima model, and Saramax model. So we were getting actually quite a better results as compared to the previous models, like the basic regression models. And what was the advantage that we were getting from this model was it actually it was considering the seasonality and the trend, which the regression model was not taking it in consideration. So first we need to check for the seasonality and for the trend. Then we have to make it stationary. We have to make our data stationary, and then we can only include the time series model for our predictions. So Arima, these time series models were taking these moving average and seasonality into consideration. And few of the disadvantages were it was really time consuming. Like it was we when we ran it for around 10 stocks, it took us around 3 to 4 hours, and we have to change the differencing factor every time we are running for a particular different stock. So it was really a tedious task and quite a time consuming task. Then we move forward to advanced DL models. So we tried LSTM and GRU models to get even more better accuracy. So for first we use single layer LSTM, and we just did a univariate analysis, and we took only the closed stock, and then we just gave few layers, like first layer would be around the number of neurons, and we took these number of neurons based on the shape of the based on the rows of the data that we are getting. So suppose if we are taking the data of last 100 days, then the neurons will be 100, and the second layer would be the half of the neurons that we took in the first layer. So that would be 50, but I won't go too much in the technical side. So yeah, we and the accuracy was got even much better as compared to the time series model, and we thought that we can go with it, and LSTM model is quite better as compared to the other models. So but few disadvantages that we saw here were we were actually doing it for only for single variable. So first we were doing only the univariate analysis, but and the most important features that we are getting, as I already told you, the features that we have engineered, like open high low percentage, open close difference, and this volume weighted average price. So we weren't able to take this into consideration. And one more disadvantage was we needed a huge data set. Like suppose at first we were just taking a single year of data, but then we have to consider around minimal 4 years of data we should take in consideration in order to get good scores out of it. So then we moved even to even better models. Like we tweaked few things in our model, like we gave the learning rate, we processed the learning rate, and we even tweaked the optimizers also. We gave the activation functions. We actually tried different activation functions, like ReLU activation function, softmax function, and on the basis of hit and trial we chose a ReLU function, since it was giving us the best scores, and we were running all these models for 20 tickers.
Mhm.
So and we used it for LSTM as well as GRU. Sorry, sir, can you please just go back to the previous slide?
This one?
Yeah. So we have used this LSTM and GRU, and these were the advantages and disadvantages. But then afterwards, the model that we used for prediction was the GRU with 3 layers, and we used multivariate analysis to it. So we took OHLC data, the high-low, open close, and the volume weighted average price, but we dropped just two features, that is the open feature that we are predicting, and the volume feature, since it was giving me a higher correlation with the volume feature. So we just need to drop one out of these two features. Yeah, so we can go to next slide.
So if I go back
Yeah.
to what you're saying that
Yeah,
you did a lot of hit and trial before getting to
right.
the model. So you ran around about 6 models in all, and you failed the first 5, and then you picked up the 6th one, which was more accurate. Is that what we're
Yes,
saying?
exactly.
Okay, I'll ask a question, but that will be later. Let's move on. What you want? The next slide.
Sure. So here are our results for the stock predictions. We chose top 10 stocks based on the percentage increase from the last day to the next day, and for the 22nd March and for the 29th March. And we have given this accuracy as we took RMSE as our accuracy score, since we are getting a continuous data, and we are just checking it for my last week. So
Mhm.
we are getting the actual values of the last week and the predicted values of the last week, and on the basis of these two features I am getting the RMSE score, and this RMSE score was in the range between 0.20 to 400. and this range actually signifies different stocks. So we took 45 stocks in total, and few of the RMSEs were coming quite higher, like say Tesla. So Tesla's RMSE was around 91 or 80 something, because Tesla stock started increasing in just last past year, on past year only. So these were the few stocks that were giving me quite high RMSE scores, and for those only we added those factors. We checked for the error. We checked for the last week error, okay, and then we took that error and we added that error in our predicted values for the next week's data. So what it was doing is it was actually decreasing. It was actually mitigating the mitigating the error between the new predicted and the actual values that are going to be happen. Yeah, so these are our insights that the forecast model on LSTM model and the sentiment expected gives us the accurate problem. And sir, can you please tap on the this link, as we have created a dashboard using Tableau, and we have pre-processed all the files from Python, and we have used those files in Tableau, and we have created a dashboard.
Give me a minute, then I'll have to stop sharing this.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay, so that's the end of the slide. And then you're saying that you've got this is what you're looking at?
Yeah, right, sir. Right, sir. So I'm actually looking. Yeah, right, sir. So this is if you can see this bar, right, for Google. So if you tap on it, then it can give you the range list of the stocks just below the predicted, and yeah, this one. So if you will just change these values, it will give you the actual and the predicted prices for every single stock that you are gonna check for.
Okay.
Right. And
so what I'm seeing is that what I'm seeing is, if I'm not wrong, that the actual was quite low for March 26 for the stock, but predicted was quite high.
Exactly, sir. Right.
So why did you? So that means that the accuracy levels are quite far off, right? 20.
Yeah.
And then this is, so it's like a $50 difference. Similarly here, it's like 2340 is the actual and predicted is 2312, another $70 difference.
Actually, sir, we didn't took the error factor in consideration, since we were not actually confirmed about this. Actually, it was just an assumption. Like suppose if we are predicting the data for past 2 weeks, and we have the actual values for the past 2 weeks as well, then what our assumption was, we can check the RMSE score for the past 2 weeks, and the score that we are getting, we will add this score in our next predicted values. Like suppose if for the next week, if we are predicting it for from 29 to 2nd of April, from 29th of March to 2nd of April, then we will add these RMSE score that we got from the previous predicted data, and we will include it in this one. So it will decrease the error. It will decrease or mitigate the error.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so let's. So do you want to show something else?
Yeah, and if you will see at the right, and these are the forecasted price for 29th to 2nd April. So
okay,
you can
fine.
also
we'll talk about that later. Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's come back. So Ashish, we've gone through all the slides. I've got a few questions to the guys. Do you have any question, or first should I go?
I think you go first, but I've got quite a few questions as well.
Okay. So guys, first question that comes to mind is, well, I've seen that some of you have done hit and trial and picked up a model. Some of you has used only one model. You've done univariate modeling. Some have done multivariate modeling. One question, have you thought of automating that hit and trial method, wherein lots of softwares, and I know for sure, they do is that you can pick the best model after going through 5 or 6 different modeling techniques, and then you can actually identify which is the best model for that particular stream of data. Have you thought about that? Anyone has done that? Or everyone went hit and trial?
No, sir, we haven't done that, but we tried parallel processing. Like we are using this linear regression in just in one notebook and the other models in other notebooks. And
that's not what I'm asking. Arpan, did you do that or did you not?
So the question you are asking is that whether I use different kinds of machine learning models for prediction and checking which one gave the best accuracy.
Yep.
Yes, I used many from the basic logistic regressions, logistic classifier, random forest classifier, extra tree boosted classifiers, and I used many different types of machine learning algorithms. And the best one that gave me was random forest classifier, so I went with that.
So did you? And that was all manual, right? So you haven't automated that process.
No, so this is all manual. This is all manual.
So I want to say one thing. Like sir, for the regression models, if you're asking me like for the automating the all the models, like it will take all the models in consideration. So what we did was we used a pipeline for these regression models. But I was not actually quite sure about these DL models, but we used pipelines for the basic regression models, and we added linear regression, the random forest, and the SVM, and we consolidated all those in just single pipeline, and we ran it through it to get the accuracy score.
Guys, to the audience, guys, if you've got any question, then please shoot that question in the comment section, and I will definitely take that question to these guys in the audience Q&A section area. It'll be great if you could just mark the question, or in the comment just write who that question is for, so that I can directly take that question to that particular individual in the team. Manmeet, what did you do about automating the process? Did you automate that? How did you work that out?
Yeah, I automated a part of it, like the linear regression predictions and the support vector predictions. Both give individuals. I took the mean out of that. So it gives out a better score as to compare both the models, and then verify it with Adam Optimizer, LSTM, for the next day. Yeah.
Okay.
It automates that.
Team Enigma?
Yes, we are talking about a lot of machine learning here, but there was human learning also. So as I mentioned, we went through various models, ARIMA and all, right, and Prophet, and we realized that we tried automating with ARIMA, and we realized that it was taking a lot of time, around 5 to 6 hours to make a prediction when we had automated it. So we realized spelling out weekly top 10 stocks should not take that much of a time. So the learnings that we gained for ARIMA actually helped us in human learning to make better predictions for the subsequent model, the multivariate model that we ultimately chose to go with.
Okay. And Team Cryptomaniacs?
So we have tried to stack the models, but finally we created this LSTM model, and then this was done manually only, and then the automation of the data could be done in the task scheduler that we have already incorporated.
Okay. Time-wise, so when you build these models, what was the time taken to execute end-to-end processes? Well, because one of the questions that was, or what was it? One of the criteria of success was to run it every week, automatically. So how much time are your models taking? I'll start from Manmeet.
Yes, sir. My model takes about an hour and like 1 to 2 hours for the entire stock market, 2,300 stocks.
So you've taken, so Manmeet, you are the one who has taken the entire stock market and ran that through.
The entire NYSE.
Okay.
But is it entire NYSE for how many years?
For starting 2015.
Okay, 5 years. Yep.
Arpan?
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. So for the training part, that is a one-time process. So it took about 1 hour. But for the prediction process, it hardly takes around 5 to 10 seconds for prediction.
For predicting,
yes,
how many stocks?
So 10 stocks for the top 10 stocks for a day wise. So what it will do is that it will just download the data. It will do all the technical analysis, it will add all the technical indicators, and it will just predict for the top from the 150 top 10 models. So it is a very fast process because the computation speed is very fast. So it hardly takes around 10 to 5 seconds in Google Colab.
Okay. Team Enigma?
Yes, so this was a boundary for us when we initially started. We started with Arima, and we realized that the time that the model was taking to run was actually in the domain of 7 to 8 hours. So we knew that we needed a better process, and the multivariate regression that we actually did is now able to solve all the 500 S&P 500 stocks data and give a prediction in 5 minutes. So basically, for the whole week, you can get the data that is pretty accurate in a range of 5 to 10 minutes for all the 500 stocks, and then you can make do with it.
Team Cryptomaniacs?
So for LSTM model, it took 2 hours to do the model part, but the predictions part and all, it hardly take 1 to 2 minutes. We have added cache to it so that the data is fetched as fast as possible. And for the data fetching part from Yahoo Finance, it took approximately 30 minutes to 45 minutes. That was the time taken.
And again, what was like how much data did you actually get for how many years?
So we took 1 year past data initially, but then further forward we took the 10 years past data. Initially we had taken 1 year past data, but then we were not getting a very good accuracy, so we took 10 years data.
On the date, yeah, okay. I'll let Surendra finish.
Okay, Team Data Dredgers?
So for training of a model, it was taking me around 5 to 6 hours. But then I introduced one Keras callback, which actually stops the epochs when the loss decreased by a substantial amount. So after doing that, it was taking me around 3.5 hours for just training the model. And for getting the test or for getting the outputs, like for forecasting the values, it was taking me around I guess 2 minutes or 1 minute something.
Oh, 2 or 1 minute. Okay, that's quick.
Yeah.
One question before I hand over to Ashish, and I'm full of questions. I think most of you guys picked up the top 10 stocks using some methodology or the other than Manmeet, who's actually gone through the entire stock market. I have a question for the remaining 4, other than Manmeet, because he doesn't qualify for this question. And the question is, if you've picked only 10 stocks, and if there is an 11th stock or something else which is going to perform very well, you will miss that stock because that was not even evaluated. Have you thought about that problem that you would encounter?
Yeah, right, sir. So, okay.
Arpan?
Yes, sir. Because because I did not do a regression problem, I did a classification problem. So my classification probability will give that the stocks which would have the highest probability of going up and for the highest amount, it would automatically go up in the table, and those who have less probability of going up and with the less value, it will go down. So yes, the market is very volatile, and it can happen that a very bad stock can go up in a very small amount of time. But my model is immune to that kind of issue, that a very large amount of a large increase would be missed out, because I'm using technical indicators.
Okay. Team Data Dredgers?
Yeah, so actually for choosing these stocks, like these total, how many stocks should we choose? We actually did like really vigorous brainstorming for around 5 or 6 hours. And actually what conclusion we came at was we took 20 stocks, the top 20 stocks from the Yahoo Finance that are going that are at the top. We took those 20, and for the next 35 for the next 25 stocks, we actually took 45 in total for our prediction. And for the next 25 stocks, we used the sentiment analysis. So what we did is we fetched the data from Reddit and from Finviz, and on the basis of the subreddits that I mentioned earlier, like the Wall Street Bets and a few other subreddits like this. On the basis of that, we checked for the iterations, like how many times is this particular stock iterating for last 7 days. And how we check that is we just like if the stock if the name is starting with the dollar sign, that we consider it as a stock. So we checked it like if this stock, if the this name is here in the previous comments, and we took all those comments, we checked for the iterations, like how many times is that stock coming, and then we chose the top 20 stocks out of it. So like if there is some stock that is sitting on a gold mine, and that really need like that that is for example like GameStop and the Dogecoin, it got increased exponentially in just a single day. So for taking that in consideration, we use the sentiment analysis, and we consider 25 stocks based on the number of iterations that we are getting from the past data.
Which library did you use for sentiment analysis, Abhishek?
So we have used Beautiful Soup for fetching the data, and the scores we have used Vader analysis, Vader library, and for iterations we have used this Pro API keys.
Okay.
Right. So.
Okay. Team Cryptomaniacs.
So we have extracted top 10 percentile stocks first of all, based on their short term and the long term performance that we have shown, and then in our app we have shown just the top 10. So as you asked the question that if you could have selected the 11th one, then we definitely have in the sequence, and we can put forward the 11th stock that we can say on the basis of reliability. We are focusing more on the reliability part as well, and not just on the profitability, because we all know that stock markets are very, very volatile and affected by the news sentiments. So we have incorporated that as well in our analysis.
Okay. Team Enigma.
Yes. So in our case, what we did was we have completely automated the process of data pull. So for us, there's only a small patch that needs to be added to pull the data. So based on it, currently we are processing it on 500 stocks. So variable formatting and everything has been taken care of. So if we need to add new companies to our current existing 500 firm data set, we can easily do it, because the process of data pull itself is completely automated for us.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ashish, over to you. You've got questions. I've got many questions, but I'll leave it to you now to, ask the next set of questions to the guys.
I think you've covered quite a few of my questions, Shailendra. But one of the first one that comes to my mind is, have you guys thought about the unsupervised learning or reinforcement learning or anything like that in your implementations? Because the data, you based your predictions on the data that you extracted on a particular day, right? But the data changes every day. Does your model addresses that? I'll start with I think Team Enigma. So Team Cryptomanic. That's what we started with.
So we have tried to feed forward the past 15 days data. We will feed in our model again, and then we will predict for the next 5 days. So we have tried to incorporate that.
Okay, but that's from the data part. But how about the other part of the question about unsupervised learning, or even I think that will probably cover some of reinforcement learning. But is there any? Have you guys thought about?
We have tried to incorporate reinforcement learning so that we can learn from. Yeah, we have tried to incorporate reinforcement learning.
Okay, that's a good one. Team Enigma.
Yes. So in our case, what we have gone by is for changes that take place in the market every day, we have used Dow Jones Index for calculating these values, because it is a real-time estimation of what the stock prices are doing on that particular day. So using this as a variable, as an input to our model for giving the output, we were able to actually normalize the data towards the intra day-by-day variations that take place in the market.
Okay. Arpan? Oh, no, sorry. The next one I think was Manmeet. All good, all always? Always?
Well, I certainly want to add the predictions back to the model in the coming days, so that it improves on itself. It learns from its own mistakes and reduces the variance overall.
Arpan, how about you?
Yeah. Yes, I use unsupervised learning for clustering my different kind of
Yes.
industries in my from 150 models, as I've said. Regarding
Mm-hmm.
reinforcement learning, no, because that is kind of an advanced topic and I have not dealt with it properly. So yes, I have
Yeah.
learned that reinforcement learning is heavily used in businesses and different kinds of industry.
Especially the
Even in
stock
yes,
market. Yeah.
reinforcement learning is used, and I could say that my model is very fast, and I can say that my model works very fast and it is very accurate, because many of the participants over here have used news, Twitter API or Reddit news channels for extracting the data and using that. But one thing is that the stock market works very fast. So you have
Yep.
to analyze the data in a very fast manner. And regarding that Twitter and Reddit, so once the data comes, or if a company such as Team Data just said that Dogecoin or such kind of cryptocurrency, they increased a very fast way. But that kind of news takes a very lot of time to come into a very reliable news channels such as that of Wall Street Bets or
Mm-hmm.
CNBC. So that kind of data delays our profitability. So using the technical indicators, real-time
Mm-hmm.
technical indicators, you can get that, because technical indicators are provided in a very fast way and in a live manner. So doing technical analysis on that part using technical indicators, you can get the
Yeah.
data very fast. And also the chances that news can be fake, like there are many chances that in this internet. So
Mm-hmm.
that way, my model is a bit better.
Got it. I think for us, speed wasn't of a big concern because speed is essentially a function of your infrastructure, right? I mean, that can,
Yes.
if when it's required, that can always be scaled. Over to you, Team Data Regis.
Yeah, actually for our LSTM model, what we did was we trained our model to predict the next 5 days. So if I am training our model till 21st, then it will give me the results from 22 till the next 5 days. But
Mm-hmm.
actually, we actually considered that point as well, like what you were saying about appending the scores. So
Mm-hmm.
actually it was really a tedious task for us, like we were not able to append these scores, like we were actually able to predict the forecast, but we were not able to append the scores. So we tried it manually, like if we are getting the forecast for the next day, then we are adding that value to our old CSV manually, and then we are considering that day also for predicting the next forecast. But we did it only for just one stock, that is for Google, and we were getting quite a good score, but it was not good as compared to the LSTM model that the model was giving us the output. So
Okay.
we didn't took that in consideration.
No problem at all. And I think my next question is probably to help us, as Shailendra said, right? What we'll be doing is we'll be giving 50% of the scores, and rest of the 50% scores will come from the voting on the Shelly show. What as part of our evaluation criteria, we talked about four key items that we'll be looking at for our evaluation. The first one was the solution and code documentation. Of course, we have gone through the solution, and I think I must say that despite five different teams working on the same problem statement or same use case, you guys have, apart from a couple of teams using Arima, I think all of you have used quite a few different libraries and different approach, even in terms of extracting the data, different models, and also the presentation is quite different as well, right? So I think we've covered that base pretty well. The next one was model approach, which we just talked about. Third one was data visualization. I think there'll be separate points for data visualization, and I can see some people did better than others on that one. That we'll consider that at some stage. One thing that I saw missing to an extent was the fourth evaluation criteria, which was around model explainability. So based on what you did and which models you used, what data features do you think were most important for the model? I'll start with, and I'm focusing on data explainability aspect of the evaluation criteria. So Team Cryptomaniac. I think the first question is, did you explore that part of modeling or that part of data science in your implementation?
So we analyzed the opening and the closing prices and the average closing prices of the past 10 years, as I mentioned.
Yep.
So that was for the technical analysis part, and that is the data that we have fetched, as I mentioned, from the Yahoo Finance. And and just to be sure, I mean, this was the technical analysis part, but just to be sure of whether we are going in the right direction, we also gave the scores, sentiment analysis scores, to understand whether the technical analysis that we are doing is backed up by the fundamentals of these companies in the social media. And as one of my team, one of the colleagues said over here, that the news can be fake. I understand the news can be fake, but then since we are taking a lot of data maybe around it from different platforms, so we can curtail that part of news being fake, and then we can give the side of it, whether it is going in which direction, whether it is going in the positive and the negative direction. So that is the data points that we have collected.
That is correct. My question was more around the explainability. So which attribute of your data impacted your prediction most?
So the closing price impacted the most, the closing price of the stocks.
Let me just rephrase that question. A very important aspect of data science is building that confidence with the person who's actually going to use it. And when I say that, if I come and tell you tomorrow the stock price of Tesla is going to go twice, double, I must have a reason behind it, behind the prediction. And we all come from India. When you go to a Panditji and show your hand and say, and they look at your hand and they tell you that you're going to die in six months or 7 months, they have a reason behind it. And if they don't give you a reason, the chances are that you will not believe them. So what I'm saying is, or what he's asking is, are you able to provide a reasoning behind why do you say something is going to happen? Were you able to explain that factor?
For example, you're feeding the same data because the data source is same, right? You're feeding the same data of different models. Why are different models reacting in a specific way to the same data set? That will probably explain some of the outputs or the reason why you didn't select a particular model. So just selecting a model based on better prediction is a good approach, not a bad one. But the idea is to find out which data features impact your output mode. You can then increase the weightage of, for example, you can introduce the concept of weighting different data features and increasing your prediction scores. Team Enigma.
Yes, sir. So we actually dwelled upon this topic and we talked to people who really invest in stock market, and they said the closing price was the best estimate that as a predictor that can be done, because a lot of investors as well as people who value companies use the closing price to gauge the valuation of a company. So say if the stock closes on Friday and M&A is happening on, say, Saturday or Sunday. So the value of stock that is taken is basically on the closing price. So that was our most significant variable in terms of p-value that we could get to gauge the dependency of the data with respect to the output. The other variables we found relevant was the lag. So the return based on the lag was today's price when divided by yesterday's price, and the lag that it had, that return variable was also significant in terms of our contribution. And we also did a VIF test to implement how the autocorrelation between variables is important. So all the variables which were not important were effectively removed from the model. So in our case, like if we were to talk about data, there was a variable known as NASDAQ opening price, right? So it was found to be not significant, so we removed it from our model. So in this way, we try to pry out what are actually the significant variables which have an impact on the final output.
Yeah. And did you find so you were taking like daily price, but the stock exchange is only open. You're taking closing price, but stock exchange is only open for 5 days in a week, right? So does the prediction for Monday, how is prediction for Monday different from Friday, because there are 2 days gap in between?
Right. So this problem we also ran into, which essentially comes when you are modeling using time series data. So when we were modeling using AREMA as part of our earlier endeavor, what we found out was the model needs those values. There can't be missing values of days. But when we use multivariate regression, this problem itself took care of itself, because the data need not, it can have time gaps of say weekends or holidays, right? So it also helps in this regard, because in addition to being able to run fast and being accurate, the model can also itself takes care of the missing days per se. So when we implemented it earlier using time series, we had to fill these values up, and this was a learning on our part that we were able to solve this using the multivariate model that we ultimately used as part of our final approach.
All good always?
Yes, sir. So for ever since this model, this project was given to us, I sat in front of the TV every day for like to watch the Indian stock markets, because that was the correct time. So I was a word that was thrown around by analysts was moving average, 50-day moving average, 2-day moving average, like it's trading above that. So I wanted to take that into consideration, and so does my model does that, and it takes the moving average for 60 days of the closing data into consideration.
And did you try and slice and dice it in further smaller chunks or bigger chunks and see how they impact?
I found out that the 60-day moving average was the right approach, as it was quick enough and accurate enough, because reducing it would increase the deviation, whilst increasing the number of days would increase the time taken to run the model.
I think that's a good point. So one of the data features, as you probably picked up, is like, do you take daily closing or you take a moving average? And moving average over a longer period is usually a very good indication of how the company is performing. Based on its not only its financial, how strong the company has been performing for a longer period of time, rather than just sentiments, which are very periodic, I would say. Sometimes sentiments go on for a bit longer. Tesla is a good example, but I wouldn't go there. But at the same time, companies performing better for a longer period of time is a very good measure of the stability of the company and its stock value in the market. Sometimes those stock grow slower, but they grow for a very long time. The next one, Arpan.
Yes, I would like to show my I would like to share my screen and present that. Can I show that? Can I share my screen?
There you go. Share your screen.
Yes, sir.
While you're sharing your screen, guys, if you've got any question, put that in the comment section and I'll take that question to the guys. Please mark the question to the individual you're asking the question to, or the team you're asking to. The names are still there, so you can pick that up directly and ask the question. And I will take that very, very soon. So please care for that. And also, I'm telling you not to like this post, because we got to open it up for voting very, very soon. Okay, guys, here we go.
Hello, sir. Is it visible? This plot?
Arpan, can you put it on full screen so people can see it?
Just a second.
Just play the deck, I think.
Yep, F5, I think.
No, that's change transition. Just a second.
Do a slide
Let me just tap on present on the right top.
Just left to the share. No,
Yeah.
just yep, that's one.
Thank you. Yes. Is it visible now?
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is a force plot. So what this is, this is a Tesla prediction for the next week from this 25th. So what is this prediction is 0.60. As you can see here, f of x, the 0.60 in bold letters. So what this is the prediction that it will go up or down. So below 0.5 will be 0, and below 0 and above 0.5 will be 1. So you can see that it is showing that it is 0.6, that most early the Tesla stock values will be going up. Now for the explainability, you can see that there are many indicators such as RSI 5 and stochastic 5, and as Manmeet said, this moving average. So there are many different kinds of IUs. One, you can see this MACD. So this is a prediction that model explainability why the Tesla prediction says 0.60 and why it will be going up. So you can see that the RSI 5, stochastic 15, stochastic 5, they're moving my predictions to higher position, while the predictions, which is in blue, which is average directional index, ADX, and average true range 5, it is going below. So it is making a prediction go down. One more plot is the summary plot.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. You used Python, right? Not R.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got it. Next one, last one for this question. You want to continue?
Okay, sir. No, sir, you can ask. I can ask.
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
let me finish this one.
Yeah, you can close and share this one. And let's
okay,
move
so
to
this one is a summary plot. Hello?
No, I think we've seen that, so that's okay. I think you've explained that in your original slide as well.
Yes, sir. As you can see that many different types of indicators are used and the predictions for this type of summary plots. So this is my model explainability of why the prediction will go up or down, and which is which factors are helping for more for prediction and which factors are helping less of prediction.
Yeah.
So I think this was my model explainability part.
Okay. Again, that goes back to the question of model explanation. But when you're talking to the audience, people who are not data scientists or who are not from finance sector like myself, we want explanation in plain English. It's gobbledygook for us if you say that technical term or that technical term. That's why we were asking that question around explainability. But let's move on.
I think we've got data dredges to still contribute to the discussion.
Right, sir. So actually, we took few other features also from the date time. So we took the date time column, and we checked for the weekday, week number, and we introduced these features in our model. So we introduced the weekday, week number, the year, and the month. But after then we checked that as I already mentioned, that we did hidden trials a lot. So after that, what we saw was when we were considering this year feature, it was not giving us that better result. So we used the two features out of these four, and that is the weekday and the week number. So it was giving me a really better results, and it would give us the better result, because what weekday is doing is like suppose for if we check the close prices for like every week in the past data, and we check for the first week and the second week, the third week. So Monday and this Friday, that is the starting day and the ending day, will be having a little impact over the prices. So that's why we considered this weekday for our model. Like we included that feature in our model. So it was playing.
Which weekday did you find contributed the most? Friday?
So actually, I just wanted to add this factor to it. Like if the starting day and the end day, let's suppose the Wednesday only. If the Wednesday is adding some factor to it, then I want to include that factor in my model. So it is basically taking all the data and so adding that factor in our model.
There are events in week and events in a year. Like for example, in India, when the share market opens up on the day after Diwali, right? The share market always goes up. So most of the stockbrokers or the prediction companies, they exclude that data for that particular day. Similarly, in Australia, Thursday is a payday, for example, right? And quite a few people buy shares on Friday because they get paid on Thursday. Very few, but not very few, but quite a few, I think. So, did you find anything because you picked up weekday? Did you find anything specific about weekday or any specific weekday that it's better than others, and hence it impacts the prediction more than other features?
So we couldn't find anything any for any particular day that it's giving is giving the good weightage to our model. But
Okay.
we will definitely try this, and we will use this in next model.
Great. Shalan, over to you.
No, you
Sure.
were,
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that.
Ashish, you were doing the credibility check with the 22nd March stock prices that you were doing.
I think the stock. So I've sent you a slide deck.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have, the prediction versus actuals and the variance, and also the icing on the cake that you were going to announce.
No, that's going to be later. Let's go.
They're both in the same slide, so you'll be
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me
So
open.
It has week 1 and then week 2. For Cryptomaniac, I think because Cryptomaniac didn't have the screenshots, so they used the software that they ran. So maybe we use that again.
Now this is okay. So the question is that we asked. Stop sharing. The question that we asked was the team. Please predict the top 10 stocks for the week starting 22nd March 2021. And considering the fact that, you've got data up until 18th March, so everyone predicted their top 10 stocks last week. So who wants to go first? This is Cryptomaniac then. Shivani.
I'll just okay. So here, since we have the video of the app, I'll just show in my screen the top 10 stocks.
Yep.
No, you can use
Will that
this.
be okay?
Is that fine? This is fine, right? This is what you've got, right?
Yep. So so the top 10 companies are Carrier, Discovery Communications, Discovery Inc. That the ticker name is DISC. Then Expedia, then General Motors, then Lennar Corporation, then comes the News Corporation Class B, then comes News Corporation Class A, then Viacom, CBS, and the last one is Whirlpool Corporation. These are the...
So, quick question. Average closing price last week. This is the closing price, right? For that particular stock. What was your predicted price?
So the predicted closing price for Carrier, say, is 42.28, and the actual closing price was 40.535. So basically, the percentage difference is 4.3 over here.
But I can't see that in this slide, is it?
Oh, I think she'll have to run the software. You remember this? She had a ticker. Yep. You want to share your screen, Shivani?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Where is Shivani's screen? I can't see. There we go.
Oh, she disappeared. Yeah.
There we go.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
So these are the top 10 companies that we have extracted from our app, and this is the screenshot of it.
Okay, and your average accuracy level would be, so your General Motors, you predicted $49 and it came out to be $56. So it was 13% off. Whereas the closest was NWS, News Corp Class B, which was 24.7, and you predicted 24.7, and it was 24.1775.
Also, in case of Whirlpool, the deviation was just 0.17%.
Okay, that is good. Okay, so you were quite close. Next, so let me share my screen now again. Back. Who do we have next? Here we go. Next, we have Crypto Team Enigma.
Yes, sir. So based on our analysis of the next week that comprises of 29th March to 2nd April, we found out that the top 10 stocks that I would invest my money in based on the data was ServiceNow, AES. AES especially has been performing a lot better than the S&P average over the past years. We validated that it had an 8% increase and it corroborated with the data findings. Even companies like Albemarle, these were performing very well. And what we need to see is that it's called stock investment for a reason. It's not called stock flipping, because we need to put money in for a sustained period of time to get those significant level of savings that we are targeting. So based on that, as well as in this is more of a short-term view, which we have tried to portray, but we also tried to factor in the aspect that over 6 months, we found out that when we went to Yahoo Finance, most of these companies have given an exponential increase over their stock prices. So these are the 10 companies, AES, Albemarle, APA showed good, Eversource Energy was another good hit. So based on this, we predict that these are the 10 models now that can really shine through for the next week.
So your top 10 predicted for 22nd to 26th March were AAL. What is LLY?
So sir, that's Lilly and Company. So Lilly and Company is a stock that has also given double-digit growth over the past span of few months. So like I was talking, it's not about investing for a week. It's good to invest for a week and it's good to make quick gains, but that cannot happen over a sustained period of time, right? So we need to factor in the aspect that how have these companies been performing? The background story, data gives one part of the story, but then we also need to figure out what are the recent developments for these companies, the sentiment aspect that you talked about, and we incorporated using Dow Jones. So American Express for the last week, say the price has increased 100% over the few months. If I were to talk about other companies like Parigyan, the stock has also performed. It says now bottomed out. So this was in fact a stock which has bottomed out and undervalued, and now the model is predicting that it will increase. Oracle was a stock that has shown significant increase. It's a must-buy stock from the tech sector, and it has been surging over time. So if I want to make investment in tech sector, so I would invest in Oracle. So these were the findings that we came.
Okay. Next, all good always. What was your predicted top 10 stocks?
In order to check the accuracy, I ran it for the previous week as well. That is 15th March to 19th March.
Yep.
Here we don't have that data available.
Yeah. So sorry, Manmeet, we had to, because of the lack of space, we had to only do, and for the fairness for everyone else, because we did
that's not
last week and the next week, so that's what we used for yours as well.
So in order to check the accuracy, I ran it for the previous week as well, which was fairly accurate with the average variance of about 225, I'd say. I don't really have the actual numbers, but it's 225. And for the next week, these are the top 10, for this week, predicted from 22nd to the 26th. High Point, Resource Corp, and increases to about 70%. I'd say. The actual numbers are with me. I predicted an actual increase of 79%, but it has already increased to about 100%.
Okay, so you are, but you were way off then, Because
no, the 2 days still
In a good
remaining
sense.
from my
In a
data.
good
okay.
sense.
Yeah, you're off in a good sense. By the way, to the audience, guys, this is done with a pinch of salt, and this is using data and data science. Please, we do not ask anyone to invest in any of these stocks. This is purely a theoretical exercise, has no bearing, and if you're investing in any of the stock, that's at your own risk. I must say that again and again. Okay.
So there are still 2 days remaining for the like 25th and 26th. This data was given yesterday, so I don't have these 2 days still remaining in the week. So it might come down and be accurate.
Okay. And Feng, you said is going to go 31%. What is the stock price at the moment?
For 20 till the 24th, Feng. Okay, till the 24th, it's 2.19. I don't have the actual percentage increase, but I can find it somewhere. I probably have it.
No, but you've done a very good job. I think you've been quite diligent, and you've looked at around the spectrum. Because you've looked across the spectrum, you've found stocks which are at all levels. You've not just restricted yourself to the top 10, which you thought of the top 10, which is a good idea. Okay.
It has
sorry.
Yeah, for Feng, the predicted increase for the entire week is 31%. It has already increased 20%, and 2 days still remaining.
Okay.
Might increase even more.
Okay. And your least one was Dollar General Group, General Corp, which you said is going to go. Predicted was $199 to $200 from, and the actual was $197 on 24th itself, which is good. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's move on next. Arpan.
Yes, so you can see the prediction. First one is for the actual predictions for the 25th, and the second one is the future prediction for the 29th. So in the first prediction, you can see that many of the companies.
Let's keep ourselves to 22nd first, and then we'll talk about 25th later.
Yes, so the 22nd, because Arpan took a 7-day approach. His approach wasn't like 1 week, so it was 7 working days. So in his predictions, like for example, the one which was done on 15th actually goes up till, what is the number, Arpan?
25th.
Yeah, it doesn't go till 22nd. I think it goes till today or yesterday.
Today. Yesterday. Sorry.
Yesterday. Yeah. So that actually is not 15 to 22nd. It's from 15 to 25th, and the one which is 25th actually goes out till 4th of April, I guess. Arpan, that is correct.
Yes, 4th. Because 7-day working. I took the 7 day as the working day.
But so instead of just 1 week, he used 7 working days as the criteria for prediction.
Okay. And so guys, so what is your prediction? And LLY has appeared here as well, which is great.
Yes, sir. LLY, Oracle. So actually, yes, sir, the prediction actual and the predicted predictions are actually differing, because the LLY stocks have recently just gone down yesterday itself. So it has gone drastically down. So it has minus 5.22% as a percentage change. But these type of stocks such as LLY, Oracle, Zoom, Google, and last one is Coca-Cola. These have been increasingly, these have been performing very well in the past, in recent times. So these are my predictions for this one. And for the next prediction, for the future prediction, that is from 25th
we'll
of
go
March.
to future later. I think we'll have to run through with everyone for the future. Just give me a second, and let's go to
the last
data
one.
Dredges.
Yeah.
Abhishek.
Yeah, so can I share my screen? So I would like, I can explain it much better if I can share my screen.
Okay. Why are you sharing your screen, guys? To everyone, if you've got a question, please put that in the comment section and I'll take that question. And please do not like on LinkedIn, because very, very soon we will be announcing the voting emojicons for each one of the guys. And if you've got a question, please put that in so that we can take the question. Okay, have you shared your screen?
Okay,
No.
so is my screen visible? It isn't. Is my screen visible right now?
Yep, it is.
Yeah. So what we have done is we have predicted the price for next 5 days, for the next week, and we have only 5 days for the stock. So we have predicted for the next 5 days. So these are the stocks that we have predicted, and these are the values that we have predicted from 22 to 26. So these are the predicted values, and these are the actual values. Then I mentioned that we added a compound
How did you
score.
get the values?
Yeah.
Sorry, can I ask a question? How did you get the value
Yeah.
for 26th? Because 26th hasn't even come in yet. How
I
did you
ran
get the
it
actual
last
value?
night. I ran it last night only, so it was giving me the value of 26.
But 26 has not come in yet.
Even the actuals, you mean?
In actual, yes.
Yeah.
I can understand the future. I can understand the prediction, but actual, you're giving me an actual value for tomorrow.
I mean, the stock
I
market
think
hasn't opened in US
I
yet.
think we're becoming gods.
Maybe. Okay. I will change it. I'll change it. Actually, it might have some problem while taking the data. So it's taking the these values are right for from 22 to 25. I think I don't know why this value has came.
Okay.
Okay, so basically what we have done is these are the compound score that we get from the sentiment analysis, and these are the compound scores for different stocks. Okay, so we have created one equation which we were using it for factorizing the prediction and the compound score, the prediction score. So we added this compound score this multiplied by 0.1 or multiplied by the predicted values of the predicted values that we have predicted. So what we were getting on the basis of that is this new prediction, and we have checked the percentage increase on actual and new predicted, and these were the percentage increase that we were getting. And then we took the average of this percentage increase, and then we sorted those indices, and we took all those figures which are having the highest percentage increase between the actual and the forecast and the predicted values.
Okay. So we've done all. Shivani, you were left, right? Or no, you've done as well. So we've done all 5 of the guys, and now let's move to the future predictions. So let's and because I think I wanted to start with you, Abhishek, because your screen was already visible. But what I want to now know is for the audience, we also asked these guys a question around which do you think will be the top 10 stocks from the week starting 29th. So I wanted them to predict for the future as well. And all of them predicted for the future. So let's start again and let's ask. Let me go and share my screen with the first one for, give me a minute, Cryptomaniac. And I don't have this here for 29th, but I have for Enigma. So let's do Enigma first and then we'll come back.
So you will be sharing the slide, right?
Yeah, I'm sharing it now. Come on. Share screen. Here we go. Okay, so now let's talk about tomorrow. That is predicting your stocks for 29th March to 2nd April. A disclaimer before you start, Team Enigma or Praneet. These values are only theoretical. Please do not take these values and start using it for stock purchases. It's just a theoretical exercise.
Right.
Go on.
And having said that, there's still a fair degree of truth to data. So if it were my money, I would put it in these stocks, definitely.
And if you
Right.
make money, just
Yes,
talk.
and make money with data. So right. So coming on to the predictions for our team, we were able to find out ServiceNow, AES Corp, Verisk, Abimal, Fidelity, Eversource, APA, Tyler, CBRE, and Consolidation as Edison as the companies which can rise in the coming week. Our predictions are also backed by the fact that we tried to see how these companies have performed over the past 3 to 6 months. Like I said, it's not a game of a week, but it's consistent earnings that we need to earn. So based on that, many companies among those churned out by our data, as well as which appeared on what we checked, like AES Corp, for example, have shown significant gains over the past 4 to 6 months. Abelmar and most of the companies listed here have shown significant gains. Some have even shown 100% gains. So based on this, these are the stocks that I would put my money in, and we hope to earn a fortune coming forward.
Good stuff. Next, we've got crypto, all good, always.
Yes, sir. So the top 10 predicted stocks for the next week would be Stonemore Incorporated with an increase of 43%. And these are only 4 values you'd see here because Friday is a holiday, Good Friday, 2nd of April.
Yep.
So these are only 4 values here.
So if I was to put my money, I will put it on
please
Stonemore.
don't. Because if it doesn't increase to 43, it would increase to 20. It would come.
You're not going to lose money, right?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. American Will Corp, 28%. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. These are the numbers the machine gave out.
Yep. Big Lots, 14%. High Point Resources, which was the highest last week, you're still saying that's going to go up 13% still, and it's already gone. You were saying that it's already 100. It's already gone up, right? 100%.
Yeah.
13%, like whatever the prediction was, right?
Yeah. So you're matching the prediction. That's good. Snowflake is from 213 to 2. Your prediction is another 13% for Snowflake.
12 and a half.
12%. Yep. And FICO is fair as another
4% increase.
Good stuff. Okay. Next, let's look at Arpan.
Yes,
What's
sir.
your prediction for next week? Next 7 days.
So my predictions are for Tesla, Intel, Apple, and Square Incorporation, PayPal, Snap Incorporation, Airbnb. So these are my prediction for the 4th of April. So there is no percentage increase now. So these are my predictions for now.
Okay. Okay. Data dredgers.
Yeah, so these are our forecasted values, and NVR was coming at the top, and then SEP, then Amazon, and the rest from Google to Google. So we actually forecasted the prices, the open prices from 29th March to 1st of April, and then we took only the 29th March, we took only the 29th March the open price, and we checked it for the percentage increase with the 27th of March data. So we checked for the percentage increase of the forecast, and on the basis of that, we sorted the stocks, and we were getting the NVR as a top stock.
Okay. Okay. We only are missing Team Crypto Maniac. So, Shivani, do you have to share something for next week?
Yes, I have that. I'll share my screen.
So very quickly, we'll get to audience Q&A.
Is my screen visible?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So these are the top 10 stocks that we have found out for 29th of March till 2nd of April. So APA Corporation, Carrier Global, Discovery, Devon Energy, FANG, Diamondback Energy, Gap, Hindustan Aeronautic, L Brands, News Corp.
Is Hindustan Aeronautic listed on US Stock Exchange?
HAL is listed in S&P.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. United Rentals.
Got it.
Good. And you've got FANG has come twice, is it?
Yeah. That's what I noticed.
Diamondback Energy. So there are two people who predicted FANG. One is you guys, and who else has predicted FANG?
I think Lilly and Oracle also came up twice.
Yeah, Lilly, Oracle,
Yes,
and
we
FANG.
had Lily and Oracle also in our.
Good stuff. Great job. Okay, guys, let's get to the audience Q&A very, very quickly. Good job. Let's pick up the audience Q&A, guys. Audience, if you've got a question, please put it on, and I will start asking the questions now. The first question is for Shivani from Saurabh Chiprikar, and he says, my question is to Shivani. Hi, Saurabh, first of all. Why did you choose this LSTM model and not the ARIMA model?
Thanks, Saurabh, for the question. LSTM model, we have chosen LSTM model because it is best for the sequence prediction, and here we had the time series data. It was a continuous data. So first of all, that LSTM model was very good in the sequence prediction. We have taken the 15 days past data to predict the 5 days future data. So LSTM, and it was also a non-linear data time series data. So LSTM performs better in that context. So yeah, that's what the reason was.
Hope, Saurabh, you got your answer. Let me take a couple of comments as well. There is a comment from Anirudh Benwa. Hi, Anirudh, and he says, great job, Team Cryptomaniacs. It was very well presented. Congratulations, Shivani. That was someone saying good things about you. Question from Ravi Shekhar, and I know Ravi is from XLRI, is one of the team members. He says, how are sentiments linked to one particular stock movement? And who wants to answer that question?
So I can answer this question. If we are fetching the sentiments and we are taking this compound score, as I have already mentioned, that we are taking the compound scores for this particular stocks, and if we are using this factor in adding this factor to our predicted values for the next forecast, then it will give us more better accuracy, and it will mitigate the error between the actual and the forecast values, and it will give similar values to the actual values. Sorry.
What attribute of the sentiment are you considering here?
So
happiness, fear, anxiety, what?
So this compound score is basically take all these scores in mind. So when we are taking this compound score, then we have actually we were actually thinking of segmenting it into these 10 segments, like angry and these all. But then we thought that we just use this in our formula for like aggregating this predicted score for aggregating this forecasted score, and just adding this factor to our predicted values to get even more better result. Yes.
Okay. Next question.
I'd also like to add to that, because if the sentiments of the people are negative, people are likely to remove money from that company, and the stock is likely to go down. And vice versa.
And so the challenge for data scientists is, and I'm keeping it to data science itself, is that you need to then think the time frame it will take from a negative sentiment to a downfall of the stock.
Yeah. The time gap between that.
Yeah, and apart from that, sometimes sentiments are not related to stocks at all. right? Like in pandemic, people were not against a stock. People were against the market in general when it started falling down, right? But having said that, so there was a bit of frustration in the market, but there was also anxiety. So anxiety towards what do you call it, the virus actually helped the pharmaceutical companies. So their stock, because of a negative sentiment for some other sector, it added to that became a positive segment sentiment for some other sector, right? So you can see the pharmaceutical stocks have gone up even when the rest of the market was going down, right? So negative sentiments could be negative, so there is a context to it. So in the data science we talk about the context, variable. So it's the context. You need to, not just the sentiments, it's the context along with the sentiment which will make an impact on the stock price. My 2 cents. I don't deal in stocks, by the way.
Me too. So we are safe people. We don't deal in stocks. Okay, let's get to the next question. Next question is from Sachin Tayar. He says, my question is to Abhishek. Hi Sachin, first of all, how are you? What was the possible reason for GRU to give better results than LSTM?
So basically, these GRU models, GRU consider two gates, that is the reset and the update gates, as compared to the LSTM model. LSTM model actually have three gates, that is the input gate and the forget gate and the output gate. So GRU does not have this output gate as like LSTM, and the update gate in this GRU does the work of the input and the forget gate of the LSTM model. So what GRU is doing here is GRU is actually computationally more efficient than the LSTM model, as considering fewer parameters, and it also need less data to generalize. So I hope that would have answered your question, Sachin.
Okay, Abhishek, you are quite popular. Another question for you, Ninad Mazumdar. Hi, Ninad. He says, my question is to Team Data Dredgers. What was the purpose of selecting only last 3 years of data?
As I have already mentioned this, suppose for the stock Tesla. So for stock Tesla, it got increased in just past year. So for that, at first we were considering only a single year of data. Then we took 2 years of data. Then we took 3 years of data. We did a few hit and trials, and what we saw was for 2 years of data, the Tesla was giving me the score of around 60, and when I did it for 1.5 year of it gave me the score of around 36. So it was improving based on the data that I was considering for my modeling, for training my model. So that's the reason I took 3 years of data, since I thought that minimal 3 years of data is required to train your model, and for all those stocks, like I took these 3 years for average for all the stocks to give me the better RMSE scores.
Okay, that's a good one. My experience says that 3 years of data is industry standard, and the reason for that is that it covers the seasonality as well, because it's twice that the same season is coming, so it actually fixes for the seasonality. So that's why 3 years of data is the industry standard as well. Okay, next question from Krishna Singh. Hi Krishna, how are you? And she says, Team Enigma, why didn't you consider FB profit method to incorporate the holidays weekend for modeling purposes?
Right. Thank you, Krishna, for that question. Interesting question. I think the reply to that would be I would probably consider it to be two reasons. The first would be that when we were actually trying out the profit model, we found out that it makes prediction based on a single input. So in a sense, it's a univariate data. But given the stock market, we see that a lot of variables can actually affect how the stock is behaving. So given that profit took a single data, univariate data, that was one of the reasons why we basically rejected the model. And this was an actual learning which we actually gained while experimenting with the model. The second reason that we found out was, this was also a learning from our part, based on why we didn't choose forecast, was that Enigma was that it is basically more of a forecasting model. And we learned it is not as good for prediction as it is for forecasting. So when we say forecasting, it is basically extending the length of the chart using history to forecast the data. So from that aspect, we found profit to be very good. But for making predictions, there are a lot of more variables that are not ingested into the model itself. So we ultimately rejected this model in favor of a model which gave more accuracy. So the multivariate nature by itself picks up more number of variables as compared to the profit model. So that was our reason.
Okay, good stuff. Ananya Day says, well done team Enigma, and she also asked the same question, why did you not use profit? Okay, I think we've lost someone. No, we didn't. Arpan is here. Okay, last question. I would go quickly. Not a question, actually a comment. And that is, Mark Dalton says, keep up the great work. Are there links to each of these groups like white paper, blog, or GitHub? Well, Mark, if you've got a question to the team, they're all mentioned on the LinkedIn profile. You can directly reach out to them. Otherwise, you can reach out to me and I can get you to these guys and they can answer those questions. Okay, there is a question from Nandini Gupta. Hi Nandini, how are you? My question is for Shivani. Did you take moving average being consideration? If yes, how?
Thank you, Nandini, for the question. Yes, we did take moving average into consideration. That was, in fact, a very important attribute. So the current closing price must be greater than 50-day moving average. That was the consideration, and it should be in the upper trend, or it should go in one trend. That was the thing that we saw. So moving average was one of the most important factor that we have considered.
Okay, great stuff. That was good. Thank you, Nandini, and thank you, Shivani. Thank you very much for your questions. Now, that time of the day when we are going to announce the emojicons for each team, so that you guys can vote, which is very, very important. So if you have already liked this post, please unlike it. We don't need it. What we need is the vote. And the vote that you're going to vote is going to be based on this particular allocation that we've allocated to each team members. So 5 team members, and on LinkedIn, when you look down and you hover around the like button, you will see 6 different...
You want to open your LinkedIn and show people which one is that?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes.
Good idea.
Remember, I was confused as well when you showed it to me.
Yeah, yes, I know. This is this should be done this way, and
that was actually one of the reasons for us to go for top 5, not top 6 or top 4, because apart from the like button, it has 5 more, and that was a driver for us to choose top 5, not 3, 4, or 6 or 8 or whatever it is.
Suddenly my Firefox is dead. Very good. Welcome to the world. But I will have possibly here.
It couldn't handle that much data, Surendra.
Yeah, that could be a good point. Let's go here. Okay. But Chrome never fails, so it's good. Let me take a look at what's going on. And suddenly all the Firefox is opened up suddenly. Anyways, let me share my screen and let's take a Chrome tab, which is LinkedIn feed. So guys, when you go on LinkedIn, everyone can see my screen? Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So when you go on a LinkedIn and you hover on top of the like button, you would see these icons. These are the icons that we are using to vote. So there is a celebrate. If you look at these, this is celebrate, this is support, this is love, this is insightful, and this is curious. Again, like button is not being used. We're not assigning like button to anyone. We'll be assigning celebrate, support, love, insightful, and curious if that's fair. Let me close my screen. So that's what we have, and that's what you will be using to get your votes. So guys, if you like this post on LinkedIn, unlike it and reallocate your vote to someone else. Otherwise, it will be a waste. That's the first thing I would say. Secondly, if you're watching this episode on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, then I suggest you go to LinkedIn and vote, because your vote is very important. And here we go to assign the allocations in 3, 2, 1. Well, actually, we should do a countdown. No. So you have got your emojicons. Have you got it right, guys? Do you want me to run that again for you, or is that all good?
Maybe we we share a screenshot of that.
But before I go, let me run that again just for. Those were the emojicons all assigned. And now the final stage. I will take each one of you one by one and ask you to go ahead and give a 30-second speech or a 30-second communication to your to the followers so that they can vote for you. And we'll go one by one. And let's start with Shivani. So Shivani, here is your 30 seconds. Ask for your vote, and you can talk about your emojicon as well. It's up to you. I'll give you 30 seconds from now.
Hello, everyone. So we have incorporated both the fundamental and technical analysis to create a stock screener app. You can be sure of the reliability of these stocks, as we have used America's top stock traders, Minervini's principles, to screen out the stocks for you. We have also used advanced deep learning models to predict the stock prices. We cannot really promise you of 25 din mein paisa double, but we can definitely promise you that you would not lose out on your money. Please vote for Celebrate button for Team Crypto Maniacs of GIM. Thank you.
Good stuff. Next, we go for Team Enigma.
Yes, sure. So I'll offer 3 compelling reasons why everyone should vote for us. First is that our output is validated by history. So whatever stocks you saw, the top 10 stocks turned out, that our model turned out last year, have shown exponential increase over the past 3 to 6 months. So it's not just about, the game is not about just weekly basis, but long-term gains. And most of the stocks have shown 100% appreciation in price. So that's one of the reasons. The second would be our model is fast and accurate. So given that we are able to filter through a lot of data, analyze multiple models, and give output in, say, 3 to 5 minutes, is a lot better than other models like Arema, which people have used. Third is we've went through the strategy of possible, probable, and plausible. So what we have done is we've picked up 500 possible stocks. We have made them into probable options, high growth stocks via using our model, and then we've made the model plausible by sentiment analysis and figuring out the history aspect, the latest happenings. So based on this, our model building has taken place. So this lends a lot of credibility to our model, and that's the reason you should vote for us. And end of the day, the session was insightful. So do hit that insightful emoji and vote for Team Crypto. Thank you.
Good stuff. Next is Manmeet from All Good Always. Hi Manmeet, your 30 seconds.
Hi. Yeah, you should vote for me because of all the stocks that were taken into consideration, all the 2,300 stocks from the New York Stock Exchange that were taken into consideration to the maximum percentage increase of your money. Not insist on you to invest in these stocks, but take a reference and a consideration for these stocks. And please spread the love on this post. Thank you.
Good stuff. Then we get Team Arpan.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. I'm Arpan, Team Arpan SM10 from VSSUT. So I would like you to hit on the support button for me. My model is very fast and accurate. So out of the 10 stocks, you can easily rely on 7 to 8 stocks that it will definitely go up. And I've also used model explainability. So you can rely on why the stocks will be going up or down. So you can rely on that also. And moreover, these I've used technical indicators, and these are used by many stock market investors for on a daily basis for investing and all. So thank you, and please hit the support button. Thank you.
Good stuff. And finally, we've got Data Dredgers. Here we go.
So, hello guys. So, do you want to invest your hard-earned money in the stocks, but you are afraid that the stock market is a gamble? So, we Team Data Regis is here to save the day and providing you the accurate predictions of the stock prices data, but also considers the news headlines and discussions on Reddit. So what we are doing is our model only does not only considers the forecast based on the past data, but also it considers the news headlines and the discussions on the Reddits to make more accurate predictions. So if you want to be the big shot of the stock market, and then don't forget to vote for our team. Hit the curious button for our team Data Dredgers. Thank you.
Good stuff. So that was all, guys, I had for you. Everyone had a chance to put their 30 seconds worth of the pitch. Ashish, do you want to add something to it?
Thanks, everyone. I think the journey has been, first of all, thanks, Shailendra. I think it started as a coffee discussion and ended up in this particular session. But I think team's been really, I'll say the whole discussion that we have happened over last two and a half weeks, and especially this session, I think it's for Cryptomaniac Girls, where I was trying to critique one of the approach, and it wasn't to put you down, but it was to guide you in the right direction. I think, and I think that based on your app, the way you guys have developed the app to incorporate the feedback is really good. And I think on a whole, everyone has taken the feedback positively and incorporated it in their submissions, which is good. Another, I think one of the probably the best part of this whole exercise, Shailendra, is everyone is so passionate about what they have done, right? Obviously, you and me don't invest in stocks, but everyone is so passionate about what they have done, which is what, guys, take it from me. This is what will take you to the next level. The passion that you have, and just keep it going all the time. Irrespective of what happens, passion is what I think we have only 3 prizes, Shailendra, right?
Yeah.
So we have only 3 prizes, but the passion, don't lose passion because it's 1, 2, and 3. Today you might be 3 or 4, but the idea is to keep that passion going about data science, and then take it to the next level. You guys are very fortunate that data science exists as an education stream in the university system now, right? When we were growing up, I'm talking about 25 years back, data science was probably only this Indian Institute of Statistics, I think, right? Or Indian Statistical Institute, Calcutta, that was one. And there were a few other institutes running the actuarial science courses. And it was so tough to get into them. And of course, the whole idea was that they had only 1 or 2 universities which were running those courses. Now it's not an industry in its own. It is also available to you guys as an education stream. Now we see people opting for I think masters in data science, like you guys have done, not only just master in engineering or anything else that was available till a few years back, to make best use of it. And as I said, there are only 3 prizes available. irrespective whether you get it or not, I think you guys are all winners in what you have done and how you have incorporated the feedback. Sharon, the only thing I want to know is, when does this voting end?
Okay, so you guys have got 48 hours to get your votes in, from now up until Sunday evening, possibly. Sunday afternoon, evening, we'll see how we go. Get your votes in, and then we will evaluate on Sunday evening, and then on Monday at 11 a.m., if possible, I would request all of you to come here so that we can announce the award, and we also get together and do a little celebration online.
11 a.m. IST or AEST?
IST. Otherwise, they'll be awake at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you very, very much. To the audience, whoever was watching this, I think it was 2.5 hours of hardcore technical stuff, and then some fun that we had over the period. Please vote for these guys. These guys have done really, really hard work. Some have done hard work between their exams. So, it's double whammy for them. I hope that you vote for them. If you want, I can run the voting thing again. But please, and I'll do that now before we go, and so that you can vote. And please pick your team, support the team. And guys, please ask your friends and colleagues and school students to vote for you. More votes you get, that's 50% of the result. 50% is between me and Ashish, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Remember the power of social media. This was the whole idea of trying to find out how that impacts the share price.
So this is very interesting, because when we initially started, it was me, Ashish, and Sanjay who were to do the evaluation. And then I thought, why would we keep it to ourselves? Why don't we hand it over the judging to the world, the public? We have the platform, we have the technology, let's do it. And to guys, I'm trying to do this to get more data scientists, the real data scientists, in front of the world. So if any one of you who's watching this episode and thinks that they want to be associated with us, please send me a LinkedIn message or pick up the phone and give me a call. People know where to find me. And let's work it out. And we need to make data science a stream to reckon with. I tell you, I say that in all my sessions, that we are at a time, we are working at a time, we are living at a time where data science is growing and making a difference to the world. We can shape it very, very well. And so we are so fortunate to be here, and we can make a difference. So guys, thank you very much. Let me, anyone else? Anyone has a question? Anyone wants to say anything?
Yes, Shailendra, if I can add a few lines. So both you and Ashish have been wonderful in supporting all of us. I think all 5 of us would agree to that fact. And even the point you mentioned about data science, I think you have been personally a great advocate of carrying it forward. So thank you for providing us this opportunity. It was real fun, had a lot of learnings, and to GIM as well for coming up with this competition. So really well thought out event. So kudos to you and the team.
Anyone else wants to say something before we go?
Thank you everyone for all the support, and especially Shailendra sir and Ashish sir. You guys have really supported us, and your feedback was invaluable. And we had a great learning all through. So thank you, Team Parigyan. Thank you, both of you and all the team members.
Good stuff. I think that's the time we had for us. Let me just run the video and then we're gone. Thank you. Guys, the audience, it was great having you all watching this live. Thank you very much, Ashish. It was a pleasure having you. It was great stuff, great help judging it with me. So now we're looking forward to Monday at around about 11 a.m. So that we can, share the results with the audience again.
Yeah. Good luck, guys, and have a good weekend.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Surendra. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye. So, guys, that was the team. That was Ashish, the gym team. Parigyan team did a great job in actually organizing all of it. It was really, really fun doing this live, and I'm sure that we will have more lives to come. But please, 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 if you're watching this, go on LinkedIn and press the emojicon that you find the team to be, the team you think is the best team to vote for them, and then take it from there. And I think they all deserve this. So pick the best team. If you want to watch the replay, watch the replay. You can watch it on my YouTube channel. You can watch it on LinkedIn. You can watch it on Twitter or Facebook, wherever you want to watch it. Watch the video, the replay, and please vote. You can vote for next 48 hours, and that's it. So thank you very much, and I hope you had fun. Thanks, and bye now. See you later.